Now, let's go to Colleen. She asked this question. Colleen writes in, she says, I am, at this point, well convinced the Last Supper was a Passover, and even that it was on Friday. I'm a heretic in my group, she says.
That's funny.
Not one of my friends or any at my fellowship who follow Torah believed that it was Friday. He died, and only a few believed the Last Supper was Passover. So basically what is being suggested then is that the Synoptic Gospels and John contradict each other. If you don't believe...
That's one, right. That's one aspect. The other is that it wasn't a Passover meal. That's...
Yeah, but...
Is that what some in her group
Yes,
say?
well, that it was a love meal. A love feast. But the problem is that then you have the Synoptic Gospels placing the Last Supper on the day of preparation of the Passover. That is, and I shouldn't use that language because John uses that language. He's still talking about Friday. On Nisan 14. They place it on Nisan 14. And then John says that his body was taken off the cross because it was the day of preparation. What day? You can't have 2 days preparing for a Sabbath in a row. So either they contradict each other or he died on a Friday. Those are the only options. And trust me, I have worked and worked and worked to try to get it a different way. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So let's go to Colleen. She says, not one of my friends in my fellowship, okay, blah, blah, or that he died on a Friday. He died, and only a few believe the Last Supper was a Passover. It clearly was a Passover because Yeshua says what in the Synoptics? I have earnestly desired to eat this Pascha with you. The text says it. I'm not making this stuff up. Okay. She goes on. The primary problem for this, which was my primary problem before I changed my thinking, is this. Yeshua had to die at the exact prescribed time for killing the lambs in order to be our Passover. Between evening on the 14th, therefore, the Last Supper could not be a Passover because of the book of John. You probably know all the arguments. I do know all the arguments. And this is the thing that I just don't understand. Where in Scripture does it say that Yeshua had to die at the exact same times as the lambs? You know, I was listening to Leviticus the other day. Sometimes I listen to the ESV as I'm driving around. And it talks about the peace offering and how no unclean person is supposed to come in and bring the peace offering if they are physically unclean. And I was noting to myself, oh, this is such a beautiful picture of how God saves us. If we have any uncleanness at all and we come in and we try to be at peace with God, if we come in without the proper cleansing of Yeshua, then guess what?
Right.
We can't commune. We can't enter. And the thing is that Yeshua is the peace offering. Yeshua is also the Yom Kippur offering. Yeshua is also the offerings of Sukkot. And actually, that's a really fun one because he gets less and less and less every single day until you get to a perfect number of 7, right? Which is, I think there's a lot of meaning here. Anyway. So is Yeshua the Passover sacrifice? Does he represent the Passover sacrifice? The book of Hebrews is all about this, right? He's the priest. He's the lamb that's offered. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Yeshua certainly was not sacrificed on Yom Kippur.
Right.
He also was not sacrificed at the exact same time that every peace offering was sacrificed, or sin offering,
or the first fruits,
or the first fruits offering. So, are you telling me that he's not the Yom Kippur sacrifice because he didn't die at the exact same time? These things are a shadow of the true thing, not the other way around. There's nowhere in Scripture anywhere that even alludes to the idea that Yeshua would die at the exact same time as the Passover sacrifice. So I don't understand this mentality. Who made up this theory that Yeshua had to die at the same time as the Passover sacrifice? And I'm not saying that Colleen is the one saying this. We hear this all the time. There doesn't seem to be any logical explanation for why people say this. There's no Scripture that alludes to it. There's no theory within Scripture that can point to it. In fact, all of the evidence would say, no, this is nonsense. Why would this be? Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button and check out more videos from Messiah Matters.